All right, everybody, welcome back to the Kleen-Rite Radio podcast. I'm Fix It with Phil, and as always, I'm joined by my good buddy, Mark Tyndale. Mark, how we doing today?
Phil, I'm doing great today, and we got Keith Lutz here today, and we're going to talk a little bit about the passion and excitement we saw at the Southwest show this year. Super excited. I mean, this is going to be fun.
Yeah,
just three guys chatting it up,
talking about car wash. Keith, how you doing today?
Well, I'm doing wonderful, and I tell you what, optimistic. That's how I'm feeling after the Southwest show. And the reason I wanted to get on this podcast with you, is you guys have been sharing the good news for the last year. I think you're doing an excellent job, promoting the self-serve industry, and the optimism is real. You can really feel the wave of excitement at the Southwest show, at our self-serve success seminars. And I think we just need to share that. We need to share how real the optimism is in the self-serve industry right now.
Yeah, you could really tell at the seminar that we did down in Texas, you could feel the interest, that the drive that people had again, right? People were getting very engaged, asking a lot of questions. You could tell that they were definitely looking at how can I take this further, right? And I think that goes along with that optimism. People are out there trying to figure out how to do it better.
Well, and the other thing I see is there's always people calling us, trying to improve what they're already doing. Mm-hmm. But on the other side of that, the quiet, successful ones are coming out of the weeds and sharing more. Yeah. I mean, that is the most exciting part. When they tell us their story and we're like, wow, you're actually doing very well, but they want to do a little bit better. Nobody knew about them.
Right.
And now they're getting out and getting involved.
Yeah, we're getting back to a community feel, right? Everybody's willing to share their passion. Everybody's willing to share like what's working, what's not working. And there's nobody's trying to hide it anymore. We've come out of that being afraid of the express market, right? And the self-serve IBA guys are coming out to the forefront and saying, look, we lasted. We're doing better than ever. We're having our best years. This is what we did. You guys need to jump on board.
That's a great point. Yep.
And that's always been, a trademark of the car wash industry is sharing with your neighbors.
Yeah.
People like to share and make sure that the whole community understands what they're doing to be successful. So I think that the case studies that we provide, the conversations and the forums that we're creating for the conversations, this podcast, and you guys have done a great job over this last year. And I look forward to what we have planned for 2026. I mean, we're just talking the industry up. I mean, we have to be optimistic.
Yeah.
Don't fear, compete is what we said a long time about the express market. It's a different model, and people are doing the right things, and the best operators are having their best years ever.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really cool to see a lot of people are trying new things, things that, nobody thought about before, really kind of risking it for the biscuit and seeing if they can make a better foothold on something, whether it's vending or the way that they're promoting clubs or the way that they're doing vac time, all those types of things. People are trying new things and they're not being afraid of, hey, that might work or it might not work. They're trying it to see if it works. And if it works, they're shouting it from the rooftops.
Yeah, they're adding functions. They're trying a new nozzle technology.
Yeah.
They're trying new pricing structures. They're trying a lot of different things that is, frankly, I think there was a period where people just weren't trying.
Yeah, I think people were shelled up. They were scared, and now that they've gotten through that wave of being nervous that it wasn't going to go well, they're willing to try these things, and it's working. Proven that it is working out for them, right? So as we look back over the last year, just some of the new technology and pump stands that we came out with. Some of the new offerings that are out there, we did vendors in the Bay, right? That was a big deal. Nobody, I don't think I've seen anybody do that before. I know I haven't seen any posts on the Facebook groups or anything like that or talk to anybody that's done that. So we put vendors in the Bay, and that has played out very, very well, right? Yep. We're seeing a resurgence of vending because we're bringing it back to the customer. So, we put that out there. There's some other operators that have had great success with that. you've had success. We've had success at our sites. And, I think rethinking how we've been doing things and doing them a little bit different to make it easier on the customer.
Yeah. Point of purchase.
Easy, easy, easy.
Yeah.
You always have to make it easy for the customer. And I think, as we looked at everything that we've done, when you put the customer first in mind, it really, it really forced us to make the decisions that would, kind of transform the vending. I'm right. Because you're thinking, okay, why isn't vending going as well as it used to go? Right. Mm-hmm. And then you think, well, look, there's people not going to change machines as much, right?
Yep.
There's you have cashless, you have bills out in the bay. People aren't going to the change machine, and that's where vending primarily was.
Yep. Make
it easy for the customer, return it closer to them, and I think that simple concept that just came up out of a conversation we've had. Mm-hmm. What a great success story.
Yeah, we're going to try it at our IBAs next. I think that'll play pretty well.
Yeah.
The other thing I noticed over these last 2 years, and I think it's really healthy, is some of the customers in the last 5-7 years were maybe sitting on the sidelines, maybe still successful, but now the OEMs are starting to wake up too and re-innovate their pump stands. They're competing again too, which is healthy for all of us. I mean, we make stuff, other people make stuff, but they're realizing that it is sliding back towards an innovation stage. Technology's increasing.
Yeah.
There's going to be I think there's a lot of exciting stuff coming out in the next couple of years.
It's 2025, 2026, right?
Yeah.
We can't just offer the same to our customers, right? It's an experience. We're selling them an experience, and we need to give that to them. And the only way to do that is through innovation.
Yeah, and the customers are much more discerning now. More picky. Go ahead.
I was just when you said you can't give the same, right? That struck me. Lighting.
Yeah.
Let's talk about site lighting and lighting it up and bringing awareness to your wash through the lighting that you're using in your bays and your in bays. I mean, what the express market's been doing it, right? Mm-hmm. And you see that color in that, and just say, why don't we do that in the self-serve industry?
Yeah.
And, some of the sites that we've done it on, I mean, it changed the drive-by. It definitely changed the drive-by.
Drastic improvement, right? You can see it from miles away, and it truly draws you in like a moth to the flame. It's unbelievable. I mean, we did it, and it makes me want to go there at night.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So it has had a huge impact. And we've had customers reach out and actually just say, hey, thanks for putting the new lights in. It's great, right? I can see better. And we've had other customers say that I didn't even know that car wash was there.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
Yeah.
When you have somebody say to you, I didn't know that car wash was there. And we put we put the G&G color wash show in the bays, and now they're seeing it.
Yeah.
Like that is a remarkable difference.
And you bolt that on top of like when we were in Alabama. I mean, I can't stop thinking about the Quality Thursdays, right? So this morning I actually tried to hire my retired father to do Quality Thursdays for Fastlane.
Yeah.
And he's still negotiating. Right?
I'll blame him with you. I don't blame him.
But I went through one of my IBAs on Saturday or Sunday, and we're getting them power washed again right now. But there's mildew over one of the in-bay signs. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's a daily thing. That's not something you wait to get power washed. And how do you train your team, your cleanup people, to walk by that decal every time they're there and wipe that decal down? Check the base for the functions, make sure all the air dryers are working.
Yeah.
Wipe the mildew off of the crust off of your touch screens.
I think that
plays in with the lights so well, because when the lights draw them in, it's got to look good.
It's got to match the brightness of the lights.
Yeah.
Your bay needs to match that brightness, right? And I think where that goes is into that weekly check sheet, right?
Yeah.
And it is such a hard thing to try to develop, because there's so many things that need to be done, that you want to be checked, that you want to be perfect. So trying to set up a sheet for success for your team of, hey, QC Thursdays, let's make sure the washes are outputting the way that they're supposed to. All the signs are clean, the bays are clean, X, Y, and Z. But you don't want that to be the only operating procedure. You want them to do it on a daily basis.
Well, in the self-serve car wash business, cleanliness has always been subjective, objective. You would say, my site is clean. Well, maybe I go to your site and I'm like, well, that's clean to you.
Yeah, everybody's definition is different.
What the express tunnel business did was that they took and created more of a science than a guess out of it. Okay, and they're like, no, this is clean.
Yeah,
this is bright. This is new. And I think that's probably in the last year what's hit me the most is that when we talk about the daily investments, because I was already doing the annual and the yearly and stuff, I wasn't as good at the daily investments.
Yeah,
the smaller claws, the new improved dryer nozzles.
Professionalism. I mean, the professionalism that the express market has given the whole industry. I mean, it just it just lifted everyone, right? So you have to compete at that level. You have to do the things that help those professional car washes succeed, right? The professionalism we have to bring in to the self-serve industry. I think that that has one of the things that I've seen over the last year is the fact that you focused on that. The other thing that I think that really raised the self-serve industry is car washing in general used to always compete in the driveway. Right. Mm-hmm. So that was a big competitor. And I think that, most people today don't wash at home. Right. So the whole pie got bigger and we're competing for that bigger pie. Mm-hmm. And I think that really, by lifting up our game and doing the right things, it enables you to have success that we've never had in the self-serve industry before.
And the horse is out of the barn, right? It's not going to go back the other way where people are going to wash in their driveway. Now the townships are charging I know where I live, they're charging people more for water. They're charging residential people stormwater, fees,
taxes.
It's cheaper to go to the car wash and easier, right?
Yeah.
So,
and there's a lot of municipalities that are shutting down hand washing in your driveway.
Yeah, they don't want the soap in the storm drains.
Yeah. So I mean, it is a real thing, and the people. Let's face it, right? The customers that left the driveway are not going back to the driveway, right?
No.
And their kids are not going to go back to the driveway.
They're trained to wash in a professional. Yeah, so we have a whole new generation of people that will never go back to the driveway. But some people, hey, they still like to do things themselves, right? Yes. And they like to be hands-on. So guess what? We give them a professional service where they can still be hands-on, from the self-serve side of it. And, we have, great equipment for the in-bay automatics and rollovers that, customers have that option too. It's, both packages in the self-serve in-bay market. And again, I am so optimistic. And that's why I wanted to get on here today with you guys is I feel it. I've been doing this a long time and I'm sitting here. I can hear it. I can see it. I listen to you guys talk on a regular basis. It gets me excited, right? And I think that's important. People have to understand that this is real.
Yeah.
There is a lot of momentum in this side of the business. I have, again, I've seen a lot of different changes in the industry over the years. And right now, I feel optimistic.
Yeah.
And the momentum is, guys, this is not just if you're in a medium or large town. The momentum is even with small, everybody's
included.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a few pockets where there's some fallout where it's just not working, but it's so minor. It's if you have a small town country car wash, you can do it too, and that's the optimism.
Yeah, and I think and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the shift of everybody was nervous about expresses before. Guys, if you're nervous about anything, you should be nervous about the self-serve wash down the street from you.
We were talking about that the other day.
If you're still worried about the express, you need to really start worrying about the self-serve wash down the street from you. Yeah. That is who you need to be in front of.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Raise your game. Invest in your wash, invest in yourself. I think that's one of the other sentiments we get here. People were a little nervous. They were afraid to invest. And then they start to see the success stories. And we try to share some of those things, and they start to talk to other operators. And look, success breeds success is a real thing. And I really, again, optimistic.
Yep, for sure. And it does make it a little easier to hear somebody else's success stories, hear the steps that they took, and then, be able to negotiate that in your head and put it into play for yourself, right?
Yeah.
So
seeing is believing for sure. And that's why we do the trips and the the testimonials with people who actually are putting it on the line a little bit. Not everybody's putting it 100% on the line, but they're putting something on the line to improve.
They're investing.
And they're getting it back.
Yeah, for sure. So I walk away from this conversation looking forward into 2026, saying to everybody out there, it's time, right? We're optimistic. We can tell that everybody else is pushing to raise their game. And if you're not one of them, you need to get on board, right?
I tell you what, I'm all in. How about you guys?
I'm 100% in. I love this more and more every day. We're car washing 24/7, and it has been a journey.
Yeah,
right.
It's been a good time.
Yeah, guys, just once again, the podcast over the last year, again, it's been wonderful to watch. I know what you guys have coming for the rest of this year, and again, I'm all in. I'm optimistic. Bet on yourselves.
I needed 2 or 3 days to get over the Southwest show, right? But like day 3, day 4, I'm so excited about. I used to hate trade shows. When I was a distributor, I hated trade shows.
I was wore out when we got back.
But doing this and what we're doing, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I mean, people are so excited. They want to talk to you. They want to stand in line. They want. Sometimes they don't want to buy anything from you, but they want to share their success. That's fun.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And the thing that I noticed when we got home from the show, the biggest thing that weighed on my mind was I wanted to run around to the sites and think about all the things that people had said to me. And like their encouragement that they had of like, I did this and it worked really well, or whatever that was. I wanted to run around and look at our sites and say, well, how can I use what they're telling me to my advantage? Right. And that is the best part about the self-serve car wash community. So if there's a car wash down the street from you and you don't know that owner, you should, right? And if you're not part of the different car wash groups on Facebook or anything like that, if you're not part of LinkedIn and you're not connected with other car wash owners, it's time to join, right?
Yeah, it's time to get involved.
Yeah.
Get involved in the local, even just our little PA Car Wash Association. We joined with the Philly Tunnel Network.
Yeah.
I mean, just that sharing has grown since we started that
absolutely.
thing. How many years ago?
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. And, we were focused on something totally different back then. Now it's just about growing your business.
Yeah.
And that was definitely the path to take. And it's super exciting.
All right, guys, that's going to close up this episode of the Kleen-Rite Radio podcast. I just want to give a big thanks to Keith for being on with us today. Thanks, Keith.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Guys, super excited about what you guys do. Thanks for, making me optimistic about the self-serve segment of the business. Thank you.
All right. And thank you to Little Trees, our season sponsor. We have a bunch of great episodes coming out this season. We're super excited. And if you haven't tried something new, like putting Little Trees in a Tap Plus window front vendor right at your IBA and selling them for whatever, where it's point of use, try it.
It works.
It works.
So to everybody out there, if you could like, share, comment, and subscribe, we'd greatly appreciate it. And in those comments, give us any suggestions of ideas that you have for episodes, things you'd like to hear us talk about, whether we're very up on that subject or not. We'll figure it out and we can have a good conversation about it. And until the next time, thanks.
Thank you.